Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be jumping down into the charts for Cardano to see what's been going on most recently with the price action here of ADA. Now as I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find, so why not go ahead and check it out. Right, let's talk a little bit around what's going on here with Cardano. So we're just on the hourly chart paired up with USDT, and Binance is our data source. As you can see here, we were expecting this kind of surge upwards, and we had kind of good structure mapped out a little bit of what we were expecting. Obviously we had our key area on this micro scale at 125.4, and our larger scale was 126.7. Essentially we had a breakdown, right? We actually had this deeper correction right here. So what we're going to do is we've invalidated this structure. So let's actually take a deeper look and see what is going on and how this kind of as corrective pattern actually emerged. Right, we're not impulsive. It is literally just a correction, A, B, and C. It's a deeper C wave, right? It could have triggered the impulsive move, but actually we started to see this break back to the upside. Okay, so essentially it's not an impulsive move down. It's just an ABC down, but it is a relatively deep one. So we need to figure out where we are with the overall structure for this, okay? Because we had a nice deep ABC over here, and we started to track up here with this move. So obviously we have this deep correction coming down. This has to be a wave 2 in my opinion, because we have 5 wave counts inside wave 1. So then we have to see just here whether or not this actually is our high point of our third wave. And you know, it doesn't quite reach the minimum threshold for a third wave. It doesn't mean that it's not a third wave. No, it does. So basically, essentially, we've lost all of that structure with this move. So we would have to map this out slightly differently. So what have we got? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's pretty standard. There's nothing too much there. A, B, C coming down. Then we have just over here, we've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and what I'm going to say is wave 5, ABC correction. And now we're tracking up again. And as I bring this back up, you can see the stochastic RSI here is rising up nicely. So, ultimately we're heading up into the notable area on this hourly chart. So there will be some kind of correction coming in at some point soon. Not necessarily just yet though. The 4 hourly chart is correcting nicely, so there's more room there. The 8 hour is in a really good spot, and the daily is a daily. So I think essentially we've got more room to grow for sure, but it's not meeting the structure as it would appear to be right now. So it could be that actually there's something else going on here that I haven't quite seen essentially, but we've got 5, 3, 5, 3. And this doesn't really meet the requirements for a third wave. So even if that is 1, 2, 3, that cannot be the third wave. So all of that must be a single wave in itself, and maybe that single wave hasn't been completed here because we still need to see the next 5 waves up. Okay, so I think yeah, the structure is definitely odd. I think maybe it's actually a 5th wave. That would be why. It's probably a 5th wave overall. So if I grab hold of this, we put it here, we can see that we have met the minimum requirement for the 5th wave. Yeah, but I still think there's more room to grow there. So yeah, interesting stuff. Okay, cool. Let me remove that. That's kind of where we are right now. I still think there's more room to move up. Here we actually have potentially the beginning of another additional 5 waves. We'll just have to monitor that situation there. We don't want to drop down any lower. It's exactly where it would be at its maximum retracement level on this little move. And this could take us up towards 123.4 before we maybe have that another corrective move. So what I'm actually looking at here is probably actually down here with this, and then that little move there. Okay, that would actually take us into a completed 5 waves, which would hopefully take us up into the overbought area on this hourly chart. Then we look for a smaller kind of ABC move coming down, and then an additional set of waves coming up. It's very, very choppy here, but I think we are still following the right directional move, the right directional impulsive direction of the entire macro move, okay, or at least the next step up. I don't want to call it necessarily a macro move. All the way from the very bottom here, okay? So if I were to come out into our daily chart, I say all of that should be a single wave 3, essentially. So what we've got inside here is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 coming here, wave 4, and this is the wave 5. Okay, so essentially we're kind of still aiming for getting to our 126.7. Okay, even though we've lost the structure of what I was counting as a subwave count inside that 5th wave, I still think we're on track to actually complete it as a 5th wave there. And all of that is a 3rd wave inside our daily chart. Okay, so all of that's actually looking pretty good for Cardano. Once this 3rd wave comes in, though, I would expect a 4th wave correction here, and that would be taking us down on our daily stochastic RSI. This 4th wave correction, if I can get my words out today, right, our daily 4th wave correction should not come down lower than our wave 1 high. Okay, so we already know that we cannot come down past 101, $1.01. Okay, so this correction should be relatively deep, but not as deep as that wave 1 there. And then from there, we'll rally on up to get the 5th wave. And the 5th wave will really depend on where that 4th wave lands. Okay, so let's hypothetically say we hit 126.7 and we retrace down to a support level of 108. Essentially, that means that maybe we'll move up this 5th wave to a minimum level of 131. But for the most part, I usually see these things actually go to the 1.618, which would be, 139.1. Okay, then we usher in a weekly correction. Okay. So if I jump up into the weekly, once all of those daily moves are done, I think all of that would basically just be a wave 1, and then we have some kind of deep correction for wave 2, and then a big wave 3, 4, and 5 coming in afterwards, okay? So essentially all of that's looking pretty good, but obviously we're getting the structure that we need, the foundation that we need to continue. And as unfortunately we lost the wave count that I was following yesterday, but essentially we're still on track if we take a look at it from a slightly different perspective. We still have the 53535, and I think in here what we're going to do is we're going to have to dissect this down into subwave counts of the subwave counts themselves, to make sure that everything is following the right directional path that we think it should be. But essentially that's the idea. Now if we do drop down lower than the high point here of 119.6, this structure would also be lost, okay? And it means that this correction hasn't finished yet, okay? And that would be a worry, that would be a little bit of a concern, because that might lead us down into a much lower path, which I can give us a bit of an estimate on based on the high point that we're currently at right here, and that could potentially see us with 114.1. okay, so again, we don't want to fall down that low, so we're hoping that this structure sticks out really well for us and we can continue this directional move to the upside. And so yeah, for Cardano, guys, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. I still think we're on track for 126.7, and I do think we are likely to continue that motion to the upside until we actually usher in that 4th wave correction, the final 5th wave, and then the big weekly corrective move, which could be any time really. It all depends on how fast these movements go. Timing is not something that Elliott wave theory can predict, but we can use a little bit of guidance based on where we are within the cycle. I'd imagine that we are a few weeks away from that kind of wave 2 correction on the weekly, and that correction will probably last a good month or so. So essentially, yeah, we're getting good progress, but I think it's important that we acknowledge that you should be fearful when the market is greedy, and you should be greedy when the market is fearful. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. When if you do find this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next one.